Um, what's up, man? This is me again, Sagati, man. What I wanted to do right now, man, is kind of make this little video, and I want to go in on these issues that's been going on within the community between the Aboriginal side and the Pan African people. Look, for those of you who listen to these things, right? You got to start asking yourself the question, right? Don't go for your emotions or none of that. Think for yourself. Now, many of us have a history of our family telling us who we are, right? And a lot, I say in the last couple of years, um, information has been coming out that supports that. To support that we are indigenous to North America, to the Americas, right? Now, you got to ask yourself, uh, from the Pan Africans' point of view, you dig what I'm saying? What have they accomplished since we've been talking about Africa? Absolutely nothing. Don't y'all think that is ironic that we know more about Africa history than what we know about American history and we was born here? Don't y'all think that shit is by design? And I have a question for the Pan Africans. They always ask you, right, what about DNA? Do you take a DNA test? And do you take a DNA test? So my question to these guys is this, right? Don't you think that, considering the fact that, one, when you hear people who control these the DNA tests coming out and telling you that there's no science that exists that can tell you what part of the world your ancestors originated from, they're coming out and telling you that the science to determine your ancestry does not exist. And the fact that they also come out and tell you that it's less than 1% accurate. Less than 0.1% accurate, right? Now when we hear that type of shit, don't you think that we are justified in not trusting the DNA test? You dig what I'm saying? We're justified in not trusting that shit. You dig what I'm saying? And another thing, there was this thing came out with Questlove from the Roots, and he can trace his lineage by name back to a ship that brought his ancestors over here. And out of everybody they tested, he was the only one that could do that. Why is that? There's certain questions that we gotta ask, man. And another thing, what have these guys produced? What have they produced? Since we've been talking about going back to Africa, right? Let's fight for Africa. Let's fight for Africa. Let's fight for Mother Africa, right? What have we produced for our own people here? That's what you got to ask these people. What have they produced? Absolutely nothing. Now they come out against every other group. But when you had the group, the Moors, they come. I'm not a Moor. They came out against the Moors and shit, right? And they had a debate with Dr. Reggie. It was the Moors who was ready to unify, to organize, to put their own money behind it, put it on the table, go from state to state, do all this shit. And as soon as it was time to deal with these, put solutions on the table and get things done, what happened? These dudes, them just started a fucking fight. You dig what I'm saying? So you got to look at these people, man. Quit believing every fucking thing that these dudes say just because they talk passionate, because they talk with a lot of fiber or whatever you want to fucking call it. You got to stop following these dudes and following personalities and stop acting off your emotions and look at logic. Now they want to tell you that you wrong for not claiming people that you don't even know is in your family bloodline, directly in your family bloodline, but they'll tell you that they have people in a family that they know who's indigenous, that they know is who's Indian within their family, their mothers, their grandparents, and all this shit. But they don't talk about none of that. They only talk about Africa. So wouldn't they be the ones to hate their own fucking ancestors? Man, this shit is getting ridiculous. Y'all need to quit listening to these fucking idiots, man. Garfield's an idiot. Unc's an idiot. And just because they talk this shit, don't mean shit. They cannot prove the shit that they talking about, which is why they not putting like they'll argue concerning certain elements that's been presented about from the Aboriginal point of view, but they never present any information to counter it. You've never seen them. Not Jabari, not Garfield, not Unc, Wujau. None of these people produced any evidence to counter that argument. They haven't because they can't do it. We've been here, man. We have been here. You dig what I'm saying? And me personally, I'm looking at this Afrocentric ideology as a form of escapism. That's all it is. It's a religion and it's a form of escapism. You say, well, what do you mean, bro, about it being escapism? Well, this is what I mean. We will sit here and I'm gonna say this. What I mean by it being escapism is that we using this Africa thing as an excuse not to build shit here. That's what they doing. This is why they don't want any unity. This is why they disregard any solutions. They don't want to deal with people who's actually doing the fucking work. They ostracize and demonize and attack people that's actually doing the work, who's actually in the streets on the regular, trying to uplift their people. You dig what I'm saying? So it's in the form of escapism. Cause if you got your mind overseas across the land, that means you ain't got to build shit. You ain't got to do shit. You've always used Africa as an excuse for you not to get off your ass and do something. That's what's going on, man.